Hello and welcome to Snooze Stories. Before we begin, I invite you to find a comfortable position and take a few deep breaths. Allow yourself to let go of any stress or tension from the day and create a peaceful environment for yourself. You might want to dim the lights, light a candle, or diffuse some essential oils, and make sure you won't be disturbed. Now, close your eyes and imagine yourself in a tranquil place, somewhere you feel safe and calm. It could be a beach, a forest, a mountain, or a cozy room. Picture the details of this place in your mind, the colors, the textures, the sounds, the scents. Let your imagination take you there and allow yourself to fully immerse in the peaceful atmosphere. As you breathe in, imagine that you are inhaling peace and relaxation, and as you breathe out, imagine that you are exhaling stress and tension. Focus on your breath and let it become slower and deeper. If your mind starts to wander, gently bring it back to your breath and your peaceful place. Now, let's do a relaxation exercise to release any physical tension in your body. Starting with your toes, curl them tightly for a few seconds, and then release them completely. Feel the relaxation spreading to your feet, your ankles, your calves, your thighs. Then, clench your fists and hold them tight for a few seconds, and then release them. Feel the relaxation spreading to your arms, your shoulders, your neck. Finally, scrunch up your face and hold it for a few seconds, and then release it. Feel the relaxation spreading to your forehead, your temples, your cheeks, your jaw. You are now fully relaxed and ready to embark on our sleep story journey. Just continue to breathe deeply and calmly, and let the story transport you to a world of imagination and wonder. Remember that you are safe and secure, and that you can always return to this peaceful state of mind whenever you need it. Now, let's begin our sleep story. Once upon a time, there was a man named Jack who loved to travel. He had always been fascinated by trains and had dreamed of taking a long journey on one. One day, he decided to make his dream a reality and booked a trip on a historic train that would take him on a journey through time. The train was an old steam locomotive that had been restored to its former glory. As Jack boarded the train, he couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement and wonder. He was greeted by a conductor who was dressed in a vintage uniform and welcomed him aboard. The train pulled out of the station, and Jack settled into his seat, eager to begin his journey. As the train chugged along, he watched out the window as the scenery changed from modern buildings to rolling hills and countryside. He felt as though he had been transported back in time to a different era. After a while, the conductor announced that they would be making a stop in a small town where there would be a chance to explore and see some of the local sights. Jack disembarked from the train and found himself in a quaint town filled with old-fashioned shops and buildings. As he wandered around, he came across a museum dedicated to the town's history. Curious, he went inside and was transported back in time even further. The museum was filled with artifacts and exhibits from different eras, and Jack found himself fascinated by everything he saw. When it was time to get back on the train, Jack felt a sense of disappointment. He didn't want his journey through time to end. But as the train chugged along, he soon found himself immersed in a new era. The next stop was a bustling city filled with skyscrapers and modern buildings. Jack was amazed at how different it was from the small town he had just left. He spent some time exploring the city, marveling at the architecture and technology. As the train journeyed on, Jack traveled through different eras, each with its own unique sights and experiences. He visited an old-fashioned circus, watched a baseball game in a stadium from the 1920s, and even had dinner on the train with a group of passengers dressed in vintage clothing. Finally, as the journey came to an end, Jack found himself feeling grateful for the experience. He had traveled through time and experienced so many different eras, all from the comfort of a historic train. It was a journey he would never forget. As Jack disembarked from the train and said goodbye to the conductor, he couldn't help but think about how much the world had changed over time. But he also felt a sense of nostalgia for the eras he had visited and a renewed appreciation for the past. He knew that his journey through time on the historic train had been a once-in-a-lifetime experience that he would always cherish. As Jack walked away from the train station, he realized that the journey had not only given him a new perspective on the past, but also on the present and the future. He thought about how much technology and innovation had changed the world and wondered what the future held. But he also realized that despite all the advancements, there was something special about the past. The train journey had given him a glimpse into a world that was slower, simpler, and perhaps even more meaningful. He wondered if there was a way to capture some of that essence and bring it into the present. With that thought in mind, Jack decided to start a new project. He would create a community center that celebrated the history and traditions of the town he had visited on his train journey. The center would be a place where people could come together, learn about the past, and connect with each other. Jack nodded, feeling grateful and humbled by the experience. But remember, the conductor continued, history isn't just about looking back. It's also about taking the lessons we've learned and applying them to our lives today. With that, the conductor climbed back onto the train and the doors slid shut. The train chugged off into the distance, leaving Jack standing alone on the platform. As he watched the train disappear from sight, Jack thought about the conductor's words. He realized that the train journey through time had been about more than just reliving the past. It had been about learning from it and using that knowledge to create a better future. With that thought in mind, Jack turned and began walking towards a new horizon. He didn't know what the future held, but he felt confident and inspired, knowing that he had a deeper understanding of history and a renewed appreciation for the journey ahead. As Jack walked, he realized that the train journey through time had not only given him a deeper appreciation for history, but also a sense of purpose. He had always enjoyed learning about the past, but now he saw it as a way to help shape the future. With this newfound clarity, Jack knew that he had to share his experience with others. He wanted to inspire them to learn about history and to see it as a way to create a better world. So, Jack decided to write a book about his journey through time. He poured all of his memories and insights into the pages, hoping that it would help others to see the value in learning about the past. The book became a bestseller, and Jack was invited to speak at conferences and events all around the world. He shared his story and his message with everyone he met, encouraging them to embrace history and to use it as a tool for positive change. Years went by, and Jack continued to travel and speak, sharing his passion for history with people from all walks of life. And as he looked back on his life, he realized that the train journey through time had been the spark that had ignited his journey of discovery and self-discovery. The journey had taught him so much about the power of history, the importance of staying curious and open-minded, and the joy of sharing knowledge with others. And for that, he would always be grateful. As Jack's story came to a close, he looked into the camera and spoke directly to his audience. "I hope that my journey has inspired you to see history in a new light," he said. "I hope that it has encouraged you to ask questions, seek answers, and never stop learning. Because history isn't just a collection of facts and dates," he continued. "It's a living, breathing thing that shapes our world and our future. And it's up to all of us to use that knowledge to create a better tomorrow." With those words, Jack smiled and waved goodbye, grateful for the opportunity to share his story with the world. And as the camera faded to black, viewers everywhere were left feeling inspired and uplifted, ready to embark on their own journeys of discovery and self-discovery.